Dark Soul Ascended PvP, brute force alone won't guarantee your survival. Enter the Explosive Spear, a game changer for early survivors looking to demolish structures or disrupt enemy defenses and make their presence known with explosive destruction. However, once a powerhouse in wrecking base and rigs, there has been a few updates which may have nerfed this entirely. Questions about has its explosive potential been weakened, or is it still the ultimate tool for destruction? Well, let's find out if the spear is still worth wielding, or if it's time to look for new ways to bring the chaos. For that, let's get right into this one. Unlocked at level 58, the Explosive Spear is going to be a mid-game craft requiring only 10 fiber, 25 hide, 4 oil, 30 gunpowder, and 14 metal ingot for a single explosive spear. Now, trust me, this is going to be worth it, especially against stone bases if you want to do some PvP raiding. As for crafting the Explosive Spear, you will need a fabricator, as you cannot craft this in your inventory, and all you got to do is have the resources in your fabricator and double click the spear, and that's about it. There you go. Well, now let's go quickly and test it out. How powerful exactly is the spear against structures, creatures, and all the other stuff. So first up, let's quickly go and check how exactly does it stack in damage numbers against all the different tiers of spear. So first up we're going to test is where does it stand among the other spears that we have in the game. The pike is not throwable, but we're going to still put it in there just to test it out. So first up we have the primitive spear. So on the body we get 29, and if you do a headshot we get about 89. Now this is just the melee part of it. We're going to do the throwing test after this. Now there we go with the explosive spear. So on the chest we get 39, so that's 10 more than the normal primitive spear. And on the head we get 119. And finally we're going to go to the pike. So the body we get 49, again 10 more than the explosive spear. And on the head we get 149, which is 30 more than the normal explosive spear. And now moving on to the throwing test. So with the primitive spear on the body, with the full draw it's going to be 61 on the body, and a full draw towards the head it's going to be 185. And now the explosive spear, full draw to the body is going to be 49. So that is about 12 less than the normal primitive spear, which sucks, to be honest. I mean, it should have been more, but to the head, maybe more. 149. So again, that's about 44 less than the normal primitive spear. Well, but as the name suggests, it is an explosive spear. And the way it works is when you throw the spear, it will start igniting itself, and in 6 seconds it will explode. Exactly 6 seconds. But that is only when the spear hits the target. So if it's in mid-air, until it hits something and starts igniting itself, it's not going to activate. Like, there we go. And now after 6 seconds it's going to explode. There we go. That's basically how the explosion triggers. So now that we have that out of the way, let's go ahead and quickly test it out on structures and see how it fares. And let me tell you, some structures will surprise you how well they hold up against the spear, while some might shock you by how easily they break. But let's get into it. So the way we're going to go on about the test is first we're going to do one spear for all the structures, and later if we can break it in a few spears, we'll do just that. So first up on the thatch, that's one spear. Let's see if it does any splash damage to the wood. And there we go. Boom. Against thatch, this thing is going to be amazing. But again, who's going to use it against the thatch wall? But just for numbers sake, a thatch wall took about 1,312 damage with just one explosive spear. Now with just melee, that's about 14 damage with melee. So not bad on that department as well. So next up we have the wood. Let's go ahead and throw that. First, let's see if it did any splash damage. Doesn't seem like it. Throw that there. So one spear against the wood. And we have about 1,312 damage. So surprisingly, the wood is kind of better against the spear. Because we're going to see further down. Because now we have Adobe. And let's quickly check if it is better than the wood. I might think so, because it may be squishy against explosive, but let's see. So one spear against the Adobe. Oh, it's looking bad for it. Oh, half health. So that did about 3062 damage. Not bad, not bad. Just 2 spears and I think it should break. Oh, we didn't do melee. So against wood, it's about 14 damage against wood as well. So against adobe, melee damage, again the same, 14 damage. And now we have stone. So we're going to do 1 spear. There we go. Again, it may be similar to adobe. Oh, it already got cracked with just 1 spear. Holy crap, that is a lot of damage. So that did about 3062 damage with just a single spear against stone wall. Oh god. So PvP are not safe in stone houses anymore. If someone has Bob Tall Tales DLC with explosive spear, you might as well upgrade to metal or wood. But wood can be hatched down, so I would say metal is going to be safest against the thunder spear. Because next we have the greenhouse, and I don't think this is going to fare well, but let's see. So with just 1 thunder spear, oh, sorry, Attack on Titan. So with 1 explosive spear, it is gonna be 1312 damage, and that is insane because just 2 thunder spears and the greenhouse is gone. But greenhouse can be destroyed basically with anything, so I don't think this would be worth the effort to make a thunder spear or explosive spear to use against the greenhouse. Well, at this point, let's just call this a thunder spear because I'm gonna keep calling it that. I don't know why. Too much Attack on Titan, I guess. Oh, we forgot the melee test. So against stone with melee, just 1 damage. So you're not gonna get in with just melee on the thunder spears. Against greenhouse, that's 14 damage. So same. So I think 14 damage across the board unless it is stone, metal, or tick. So next up we have metal. Let's see how this fares against 1 thunder spear. There we go. Let's check it out. Oh, not bad. The metal hold up well. Doing only at about 300 and something damage. Yeah, about 394 damage. Not bad at all. And finally, we have tech. Oh, and also, you cannot damage metal with melee. So next up, we have the tech wall. And let's go quickly check how much damage it exactly does against tech. There we go. Oh, so it does damage tech, but not by a lot. So it just does about 97, I believe. So that's not quite a lot, but it does do it, and it will take you a ton. I mean, at least over 100 spears to take down 1 tech wall. So I don't think that is going to be worth it. So it's about 87 damage. Yeah, you're not going to get into a tech wall with spears. You're going to need something heavy. But now let's quickly check how many spears it actually needs to destroy the walls. Okay, so first up, thatch, and we all know it's gonna go bye-bye. There we go. So the thatch is gonna be 2 spears. The wooden wall is gonna be, I would say, about 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's put it at 5 and see if it breaks. 6. No. Okay. Yeah. 6 spears and a few poke. And that's it. The wood is gone. Adobe, you can just poke it, but 2 spears. Adobe, 2 spears. And there we go. That's disappeared. Stone, let's see. What damage did it do? Okay, that's going to be like 1, 2. I think 2 should be fine. So that'll be total of 3 thunder spears, I think. Yep. 3 thunder spears, and that's down the drain. Let's see. As for greenhouse, might as well just poke it. Yeah, it's just 1 thunder spear and a few pokes, and they're good. There we go. So maybe 1 explosive spear thrown, and then a few pokes, and the greenhouse is gone. As for metal, I've already tested. It's going to be about 20 to 25 thunder spears, and you can get through a metal wall. For tech, it's gonna take a lot. I mean, a hell lot. Because 87 damage for one Thunder Spear, you're gonna need a ton of them. I mean, just look at this. That's 2 Thunder Spears. It's gonna take you about 100 plus, in my opinion. But overall, is it a good weapon to use for raiding? Heck yeah. But we are gonna do some further tests, and we're gonna check next up against creatures, and after that we're gonna do the ultimate test of the Thunder Spears against turrets to see how well the turrets actually do against the Thunder Spears. So we have a few creatures here, and we're gonna do a small test of seeing how much damage it does, but not mainly damage. I want to see if it still does a knockback, because previously when the spears had released, they used to do a ton of knockback against creatures. So does it do that? And all of these creatures are 255, so 150 perfect tamed. So first up, we're gonna see if it does kill a dodo or if it does a knockback when it explodes. So dodo going up first. Well, that looks crazy. Dodo's dead. The raptor ate it. But doesn't seem, we didn't get to know if it did a knockback, so the raptor is going to be a good example. Let's see if it does do a knockback against the raptor. So raptor is over here, slightly, not that much. So maybe it has been nerfed. Let's go against the Doedigerus. Let's see here, does it do a knockback? Nope, still standing. Kylosaurus, any knockbacks here? Nope, still standing. And finally, the big boy Rex. I don't think it does any knockback anymore, so maybe against a raptor, but not a lot. As you saw, it just moved slightly. Smaller creatures, maybe. But next, we're gonna see how much actual damage it does against creature. So let's go and just do that. Here we have an Allosaurus, so let's go ahead and try that. 49 just for the throw, and 47 for the explosion. That's not a lot. I mean, it did 500 on dummy, but on the creature, it doesn't seem to be a lot when it explodes. There we go, 35. Maybe headshots. Okay, it's dead. So the throwing is more deadlier than the explosion when it comes to creatures. So this is not going to be something used to kill stuff, but it doesn't seem to be doing that lot damage with the explosion. And even as for the what you might call it, the splash damage is not a lot. So I think this is mainly going to be used for raiding, maybe destroying rigs, destroying buildings. But if you're just going to go and kill creatures with the explosion, you're not going to be happy, because this thing doesn't do a lot with the explosion, but it does a ton of damage for throwing it on the head. I mean, let's look at that. 49 and boom, 54. But with the explosion, okay, that one did 167. But let's find another creature that is a little bit squishy. So the Morellatops may be a little bit of an armored creature, but I don't think so. Let's go find something squishy and just test that out if it does do 100 plus damage. I mean, let's see. The Volanosaurus was a squishy thing, so let's just poke it. There we go. Let's see how much damage. 89. Okay. So headshot was maybe the one that did about 167. So let's see if it's a close shot, not even on the body, if it does any damage. 107 against the baby, and it was kind of splash, so splash damage in a small area is possible. Now let's try a headshot on the Carno and see if it does any explosion headshot damage scaler, I guess. Is that on the head? I think that's on the neck. 50 with the headshot. Let's see if any explosion damage. Wait, nothing? Yeah, this thing maybe not that great against creatures. Let's see. 195. So it is really a hit and miss. I'm not sure how it works. So that was the body shot and did 195 damage. So sometimes it does a lot of damage. Sometimes it does little to none damage. But that is about it for the damage against creatures. Now we're going to test the battle rigs against the explosive spear and see how they fare, if it's exactly like the trailer where they explode easily, and how much damage does it exactly do. So right here we have two battle rigs, one with the extra armor and one with the cowcatcher. Now these are enemy battle rigs, so we can see the exact damage numbers when we throw the spears at it. So let's get started. So first up, let's test it out on the normal one without the extra armor at the front end. There we go. Upon impact, 49, and explosion damage is 116. Now, second, let's try the engine to see if it does extra damage on different parts of the rig. There we go, 49, so same there. And yes, it did 184 damage, and I believe that was higher. And another interesting thing is if you hit the turret, for example, there we go, 160, but in my testing, you could destroy the turret off the back of the turret. There we go, we destroy the turret. And now let's test out the extra armor. So on the extra armor, still 49 and took another ricochet shot. And 188 at the front end. So maybe a elongated mod in the front helps reduce the damage because it doesn't take it towards the engine, but with the extra armor, it's close to the engine, so I believe it's taking more damage due to that fact. There we go. Oh, it didn't take damage this time. That's weird. Let's throw in 2 and see if that happens again. Now that's surprising. Okay. So maybe certain angles it does defend against explosion, but it's a hit and miss. There we go, 191. So on the lower end, you will get more damage on the rig, but if you head up top, it doesn't do any damage, any explosive damage with the extra armor mod. 225. Holy shit. Okay, so yeah, it's gonna be a hit and miss. But let's load it up and see if we can blow it up. Oh, something broke. I think that's the turret. Yep. Oh, that was cool, but sucks that it doesn't have any debris animation flying, like the wheels and stuff for the rigs. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for the battle rig. Next up, we're gonna check exactly how does it fare against turrets. Okay, so now we have a turret tower here. Now it's not the meta or anything like that. It's just to test the bullets. I have a couple of turrets up straight right there, and we're gonna throw a spear and see if it can actually shoot it out, and later on try using it with creatures, maybe faster creatures, to see if we can get the spear somehow to go and hit directly in the turret. So first test is just a throwing one. There we go. Okay, it does shoot it down. Okay. So yeah, there's no way to get the turret. Let's see if we try running and throwing it. Nope. Straight away shoots it out. So there's no actual way to get past the turrets if you're on foot. So if we do this like so, nope, not gonna work. So let's do something else. The next step what we're gonna do is have a max level PT. Then we have 121 armored saddle on it, and we're gonna throw a couple, maybe 2 spears, and then we're gonna fly into the turret tower. Okay, it got it. So now, even putting it on a PT doesn't seem to do the trick. Let's try and putting it somewhere like behind it. We did throw it behind it, right? Let's take off GCM and see how exactly do we fare. Okay, so we don't have GCM on, so let's throw 1. Let's throw 2. Okay. Let's hop on. Okay, I couldn't hop on in time. My bad. Also, we are kind of encumbered. Let's drop that. Let's drop that. Let's drop that. Okay, here we go. Let's put it on the wings. Let's put it on the tail. Let's ride and let's go quickly. Barrel roll, and nope, I did. So no, I don't think it's possible, but we'll still try it again. I do have one more trick in mind. Now it seems to be specifically targeting the explosive spear even on the rear of the PT, so we're gonna test something else. Next up, let's try a Diplo. Go there. Okay, we can. Let's throw some spears. Let's see, while he's soaking, can we throw spears at the turret? It's possible. No, it specifically targets the spears. So even if you're using a distraction, it doesn't seem to work. I mean, look at it. Like pinpoint shooting it. Now say if someone else was riding the Diplo like so close, right? Still wouldn't make a difference. And just look at that. Instant. Boom. So it doesn't seem that you can get a spear across even if you're using a distraction method. Maybe if I can throw it up. No. So it is impossible. As of now, I think it has been patched if there was any kind of a way to get it through. It doesn't seem to work anymore. But if you can get it through, it does a ton of damage against turrets. That is if you can. So yeah, against the turret base, the Thunder Spears doesn't stand a chance as it pinpoints, destroy them at any direction you throw it. I mean, look at that. It's crazy, but there's no way. You can't overload the turrets. Then with throwing a multiple of them, it just gets shot down quite easily. So I don't think the Thunder Spears are going to work really well against a turret base. So if you have a turret base up and running on PvP, you are safe against the Thunder Spears. So happy days. And the final test, can the spears actually be used underwater? And yes, they can. They can be used underwater like normal spears, and they also explode underwater. So you could use it for underwater warfare against certain bases. But again, it's not going to do well against creatures. But if it's a stone behemoth gate or a stone wall you want to get through, it's going to make an easy work of it. So having Thunder Spears underwater might come in handy for that sweet access for the pearls, especially on the island map, having the pearl cave. If not, metal and turret got it. And that's about it for today, guys. I hope you did find the video informational. If you did, don't forget to smash the like button, as it always helps with the algorithm. Subscribe and share around, as that always supports the channel. And I've not been on lately, and that has been due to some work related stuff that I couldn't keep up with YouTube. But May should be a good month to do some more videos, and I'm going to work on that. And this will be the last video for the Bob Tall Tales 3 DLC. So if I did miss anything, don't forget to comment it down below so I can cover that and add it to a playlist. The playlist should be on soon, so I should compile all the videos and put in the playlist for the Bob Tall Tales 3 DLC. But yeah, with that, also I'm signing off, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, peace out.